If you have a Ruger Mini 14 or Mini 30 and need a way to mount a red dot with a comfortable cheek weld, along with add a flashlight, sling, and any other accessory, the new Hannibal Rail from Samson Manufacturing will check all those boxes. Welcome back to the Samson Innovation Center. My name's Ryan, and today we're going to take a look at the features of the Hannibal Rail and also walk you through how easy it is to install. We initially did a limited release of Hannibal Rails that had an integrated Vortex Venom red dot footprint and were compatible with Ruger Mini 14s and Mini 30s made in 2008 and later. We received enough feedback that we decided to go back to the drawing board and created a second version that was compatible with Ruger Mini 14s made in 2007 and earlier. This same version is also compatible with the Ruger AC556. The main difference between these two versions has to do with the barrel profile. Mini 14s made in 2007 and earlier had a thin pencil barrel and have a serial number prefix starting with 180 and higher, but not including anything higher than 580. Mini 14s and Mini 30s made in 2008 and later have a thicker barrel with a flange and have a serial number starting with 580 and higher. If you're unsure what year your rifle was manufactured, Ruger has a serial number lookup on their website that should be able to answer that question. With the integrated micro red dot mounting system, the included steel locating pins can be swapped around to fit the Trijicon RMR, Leupold Delta Point Pro, Seymour, and Vortex Venom footprints. Having a direct mount optic forward of the action allows for a much more comfortable cheek weld. However, due to the low height of the firearm's iron sights, optimal coat witness with a micro red dot could not be achieved comfortably. Trust us, we tried. A variety of accessories can be mounted to the Hannibal Rail using the 5.5-inch Picatinny rail at the 12 o'clock position, along with the included 2-inch Picatinny rail and QD swivel adapter for side mounting at the 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock positions. Both versions are machined from 6061 T6 aluminum and offered in a black or gray anodized finish. They are also compatible with the Samson A-Team folding stock, along with most other Mini 14 or Mini 30 stocks. When you pick up your own Hannibal Rail, the package will include installation instructions, the Hannibal Rail itself, a barrel clamp, a 2-inch Picatinny rail section, a QD swivel mount, blue thread locker, a few different screws including 4 1032 by 3/8 low head screws, 2 of those for the Picatinny rail section and 2 of them for the QD swivel mount. You also get 4 632 by 3/8 socket head screws, 2 being for the barrel band and 2 being for the micro red dot, which are optional. 2 MR1 pins for the Trijicon RMR or Leupold Delta Point Pro, and 2 MR2 pins for the Seymour or Vortex Venom. You will also receive 4 different hex wrenches, a 9/64, a 7/64, a 3/32, and a 1/16. Always make sure your firearm is unloaded and the work area is clear of ammunition before beginning installation of the Hannibal Rail or performing any sort of maintenance. Remove the magazine and put the safety in the on position. Pull the slide handle all the way to the rear and release. The hammer must be cocked for disassembly and reassembly. Remove the factory plastic handguard from the barrel. Remove the top gas block and 4 8/36 socket head screws using the 9/64 hex wrench. Set the screws aside as they will be needed in a later step. The top of the gas block is no longer needed but should be kept in a safe place if the rifle ever needs to be restored to its original configuration. If installing a micro red dot, determine what common footprint layout it uses. The letters in the image indicate where the 2 MR locating pins need to be installed for the corresponding optic footprint. Select the proper threaded MR locating pins and apply a small amount of the included medium strength thread locker. The MR1 pins have a wider head and will bottom out when installed. The MR2 pins have a narrow head. It is very important for these pins to stick up high enough to engage the red dot, but not too high where the red dot doesn't sit flat on the Hannibal Rail. Use the MR1 pins for the Trijicon RMR, Leupold Delta Point Pro. Use the MR2 pins for the Vortex Venom and the Seymour. Temporarily mount the micro red dot to the Hannibal Rail using 2 of the included 632 socket head screws and the 7/64 hex wrench, or using the screws that came with the optic. If the screws are too long, they may contact the barrel and cause issues. For ease of assembly, remove the micro red dot for now. Place the Hannibal Rail on the barrel and align the 4 front tapped holes with the 4 holes in the bottom gas block. Apply the included medium strength thread locker to the 4 gas block screws. Evenly install the 4 gas block screws and tighten in a crisscross pattern until snug. Ensure there is equal spacing on the left and right side between the lower gas block and the Hannibal Rail. Insert a 1/4-inch steel rod, punch, screwdriver, or other suitable instrument into the hole in the rear of the trigger guard. Lift up, using the tool as a lever to spring open the trigger guard from the latch position. Remove the trigger housing assembly by carefully pulling it upward. Be careful not to damage the stock when removing or replacing the trigger housing. Remove the barrel and receiver assembly from the stock by lifting the rear of the assembly out of the stock and then pulling the stock rearward out of the engagement with the gas block. Using caution, grab the compressed recoil spring and guide rod and move them toward the muzzle to slightly compress the spring and disengage the rod from the receiver. Lift the guide rod and spring away from the barrel and remove from the slide assembly. Remove the buffer crosspin and buffer bushing from the receiver. Pull the slide handle to the rear. Align the locking projection on the slide with the disassembly notch on the receiver. Pull the locking projection through the disassembly notch and rotate the slide upward and out of the receiver. Keep the bolt in the receiver, it does not need to be removed. Place the barrel clamp onto the bottom of the barrel, ensuring the 2 tapped holes line up with the 2 through holes on the Hannibal rail. The notch in the barrel clamp must face the muzzle. Apply the included medium-strength thread locker to 2 632x3/8 socket head screws. Install these screws through the top of the Hannibal rail using the 7/64" hex wrench. Thread them into the barrel clamp, ensuring they are evenly installed and secure. Retract the bolt. Replace the operating slide by angling the handle portion upward between the Hannibal rail and receiver ring. Lower the slide so that the cam track on the inside of the rod fits over the roller in the right locking lug of the bolt, and the tab adjacent to the slide handle goes into its track on the right side of the receiver. Push the operating rod fully forward. Be sure that the gas piston fits into the hole in the front of the slide. Replace the buffer bushing and crosspin, with the open end of the bushing facing toward the muzzle and the 2 flat faces aligned. The crosspin must be below flush with both sides of the hole. Using caution, insert the recoil spring into the hole in the rear of the slide and compress the spring until the end of the buffer guide rod can be reinserted into the buffer bushing. Insert the forward end of the stock into the lower portion of the gas block at a slight angle, then lower the receiver into the stock. With the safety still on and the hammer cocked, align the rail on the trigger housing with the slot in the stock. Insert the open trigger housing into the stock. When fully seated, swing the trigger guard fully into place until it locks shut. An audible click will be heard when it is correctly locked. Cycle the slide handle and safety a few times to be certain the components are correctly assembled. Install a micro red dot to the Hannibal rail using 2 of the included 632 socket head screws and the 7/64 hex wrench, or using the screws that came with the optic. The 2-inch Picatinny rail section and QD mount can be installed in the tapped holes anywhere along the side of the Hannibal rail. Use the 3/32" hex wrench to tighten the 1032x3/8 low head screws. Medium strength thread locker is recommended. So that's the new Hannibal rail from Samson Manufacturing. Please leave any questions you may have in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoy our content, and look for us on social media too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.